I'm 29 currently, so I've been living in London for 6.5 years, moved here from Australia in 2016. Currently I'm paramedic, but I'm one of the team leaders at Camden Ambulance Station, and I've been doing that for about 2 years now. I went vegan 4.5 years ago, so it was March 2018. Big thing for that was that there's a lot of cardiovascular disease in my family, lots of bad genetics in that sense, lots of gastrointestinal issues, a lot of cancer as well. So I sort of made a decision that I haven't really won the genetic lottery in that sense. So I started looking into what are the best things that I can do to try and reduce my risks of that. And the best thing was diet. The biggest thing was stress. Now I can't manage my stress. I have a stressful job overly, so I can't control that as much as I can control my diet. So I thought the thing that I can take control of the most is my diet. And that led me to giving veganism a try for a month. And then, 4.5 years later, some slip-ups, as always does happen when you're transitioning. But for the most part, I think I've transitioned well. Biggest challenges, frustrations was, I think, just trying to figure it, it was just a matter of eating the same food but dropping the meat became tricky. I'm really lucky, I think, I haven't done a whole lot of this stuff in terms of European travel, but the places I've gone to haven't been as accommodating as London is towards veganism. I think all the places I've been, including Australia, which everyone is surprised about, London's probably the best place to be a vegan, I think, just because everywhere you go has such big vegan sections now. Every little pub has something that you can eat. So that's been the easy transition. I essentially just sort of ate the way I was eating before, but just used the vegan alternatives. And then sort of last year, I thought maybe I'm eating too much of the processed stuff, so I tried to cut that down a little bit. Yeah, I think it was just trying to feel full was the thing, because I was eating a lot of food. I think once going into the program, realizing I was probably ticking over at 3,500 calories a day was when I thought, okay, this is where the problem is. I'm not doing something right. I mean, I tried to get back into, so I had a major back injury in July last year. I was carrying a patient down the stairs who was really, really unwell, and I tore a disc in my back. So for about 2 or 3 months, I had extreme sciatic pain going down my left leg. I was struggling to walk and all that kind of stuff. So once I recovered from that injury, I made a decision to get back into the gym. I wanted my body to be strong. Didn't want to get myself into a position where I could hurt myself again. So I started back to the gym. I got some help from a friend back home and basically got a program written up for myself and started following the program. But I was kind of stagnated and I wasn't really getting anywhere with it. And I wasn't making a whole lot of progress. But then I thought, I need to get on top of my diet. I don't know enough. I knew enough, but I didn't know enough to make it sustainable, because I tried to, just do the classic, like tofu, broccoli, potato or rice thing a couple of times, and it just gets boring and you don't sustain it. I saw your posts and I saw all those things and the positive changes that you were having on people's lives. I thought, why not just give this a go to educate myself a little bit better? It really definitely helped me get an understanding of what I was doing wrong. When I got back from Australia, it was around April time. So it was about 7 weeks of just, catching up with people, getting beers, just eating out a lot and all that kind of stuff. And I was ticking the scales over about 112 kilos. And thought, it's time to sort this out. So starting the program at 109, I think was what I first weighed in. So I'd already dropped a couple of kilos before that. In that first 2 months, it was just a massive drop from about 112 to 104 within about 6 weeks, which was a huge, huge thing. It was just getting that initial bit of sort of all the stores in my body off. And then from there, it was getting a good program at the gym. So I think the biggest win so far, I've been dropping, I think 13 kilos all up since the start of May, when I started the program. Increased all of my sort of compound lifts massively. So I've had to stop the squats because my back's been playing up again, and I've had to sort of chill out on the deadlifts a little bit because of my back. But the sort of progress that I've made on the upper body strength has been massive. So I think my bench has gone from my maximum was probably about 70, and I've just jumped up to 90. So in the 4 months or so, it's been a massive increase, which has been nice to see. But it's just been the weight loss, which has been nice. I'm fitting into some shirts that I had a few years ago when I was a bit smaller, and ordered a new uniform at work now because I've dropped some sizes. So that's been the big thing, is actually starting to get to a point where my body is kind of where it should be, I think, rather than sort of probably about 15 kilos overweight is where I was. It has made a bit of a difference at work. I feel like when I'm sort of moving, lifting patients, I feel so much sort of stronger. I feel definitely better doing that. I feel like I'm on top of my diet. I don't know if it's had too much of an impact on money. I think I'm still spending quite a bit sort of getting on the food and getting the right foods and buying good quality food. So that hasn't changed too much. That I feel that I'm not getting takeaway anywhere as near as much as I used to. It probably used to be a once a week, twice a week thing, and now that's not happening anymore, because I'm just a bit more aware of sort of how much weighing that sort of one meal can have on your whole daily intake. So it's just been sort of the education around how much food I was actually eating, how much food I was actually happy with eating. I think that was the biggest thing, just the realization that, hey, I don't need to eat 3,000 calories a day to feel full, or I don't need to do that. It's just not enough. And when I am eating, I can actually just cut down to what my body actually needs. So, and not actually feel like I'm on a diet, because I haven't felt like I'm really on a diet that much. I just feel like I'm eating more smart. Eating in a much smarter way is probably the best way of putting it. The biggest challenge, I think, has been, so on a shift work pattern where you're doing 12-hour shifts and you're on rolling pattern and stuff like that, getting consistency has been the biggest challenge that I've come across. Like for example, last week I worked 7 out of 8 days, so there just is not time to go to the gym. You've got one day off, and I went and managed to do a full body workout, which was good, but you just don't have the time before and after work. Like I've tried to go to the gym before a 6 o'clock start, and it's just impossible. You're up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you get there and you're just so tired and you're not really working out effectively. So it's like, are you working out as well as you could be if you got a full night's sleep in? Is it actually worth going to the gym and doing all that kind of stuff? So I mean, the advice is just try to find out the best way to work. Listen to the body was the biggest thing. So if I'm in a run of 4 days off, I don't need to go to the gym all 4 days if my body is actually struggling as well. So it was just like making sure I'm using my time well, understanding that my body does need to recover sometimes, using my days on shift as a way to recover. So making sure that I'm still hitting all the macros I need to be eating while I'm on my days at work. And just trying to get the gym on pretty much 80%, 90% of the days that I have off. There's been a huge taper, sort of obviously, you have that massive loss of that 10 kilos, which I did pretty much. So I got to 102 quite quickly within 3 months. Getting to sort of the 95 mark has been where I'd like to be. But the problem is now is the weight is dropping at the same sort of rate that the muscle was going on. So the weight is kind of the fat's coming off and the muscle's going up. So I've been sat at about 101, 102 for probably about a month and a half now. But now that I've kind of gone to that next level, I've been dropping to 99, 100. So it's slowly tapering down to where I'd like it to be. So my goals have been is to get to that 95 kilo mark and then maintain it, but increase the strength a little bit more. So the goals that I have in my compounds are 100 kilo bench, 150 squat, 200 deadlift. But obviously the back has made that difficult to do. I'm just trying to continue to stay consistent. That's the biggest thing. Get to the 95 kilos, see how my back is going, see how my body's going, go from there.
When was the last time you were below 100 kilos?
I think it was September 2019, I think. So I just had a lot of stress going on at work. Wasn't really eating at home. I was not looking after myself that well. But I was off work for about 2 months when I was going to the gym, but I was doing a lot of cardio. I was probably doing about 45 minutes of cardio every time I went. So I dropped weight quite quickly. I didn't really put on any muscle. It wasn't really a regimen that I was following. There was no nutrition plan that I was following. So I just kind of dropped weight just from stress and doing a load of cardio pretty much. Yeah, I'm excited to keep it going. Excited to see how far I can go with it and see how it all unfolds. Cheers. Take care.